If you've been scrolling through endless charts, watching video after video trying to decide which Fishfinder plus Chartplotter actually makes sense for the boat you take out on weekends, you're not alone. I've spent the last couple of weeks swapping out my old handheld unit for a proper installed system, testing a few different brands, and reading through the forums where anglers argue over screen size versus transducer power. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, because the next few minutes are all about cutting through the hype and figuring out whether the Simrad NSX 3009 actually earns its place on your dash. First off, the biggest question most people have is whether a 9-inch screen with an all-in-one transducer is worth the extra cash when you could buy a cheaper Fishfinder and a separate Chartplotter. In real-world terms, the NSX 3009 tries to be the Swiss Army knife of small to mid-size boats. The unit boots up with a setup wizard that walks you through everything from calibrating the depth sensor to loading your favorite CMAP Discover X charts. That means you can pull the boat out of the garage, plug the transducer in, and have a usable map of the local waterways within 5 minutes. No need to fiddle with third-party software or manually download chart files on a laptop. If you're the type who spends a Saturday morning on a lake, casting a few lines and then cruising to a new spot, the active imaging part of the 3-in-1 transducer is where the NSX really shines. I tested it on a shallow, rocky lake where the bottom changes from sand to boulders in a matter of meters. The active imaging mode painted a crisp, almost photographic view of the structure, letting me spot a submerged log before I even got close enough to feel the change in resistance. In a deeper river run, the conventional sonar mode gave a clean, layered read of schools of fish moving downstream. For people who want a clear picture of both habitat and fish without swapping hardware, that flexibility is a practical win. However, the unit isn't a free-for-all. The price sits firmly in the serious hobbyist tier, and if you're only out for occasional trolling, the cost may outweigh the benefit. The interface, while polished, packs a lot of menus that can feel overwhelming the first time you fire it up. I found myself digging through the display settings submenu just to adjust the brightness for bright midday sun, a step that takes a minute, but adds friction if you're used to a one-button Fishfinder. Another hidden trade-off is the chart subscription model. CMAP Discover X includes a solid baseline of charts, but if you need detailed inland waterways or frequent updates, you'll have to pay extra. That ongoing cost can bite over time, especially if you're budgeting for other gear. So, who should actually click Add to Cart? If you already own Simrad radios, autopilots, or other navigation gear, the NSX 3009 slots into that ecosystem without a hitch. Its full integration means the same network ID, shared waypoints, and consistent user experience across devices. For anglers who need reliable imaging on both shallow flats and deeper channels, the 3-in-1 transducer eliminates the need to carry separate units. And if you're comfortable spending a few extra minutes learning a richer menu for the payoff of higher resolution imaging and integrated charts, the value per dollar becomes clearer. On the flip side, if your boat is a simple dinghy, you only fish on a small lake, or you're just getting started and want something plug and play, you might be better off with a dedicated Fishfinder that costs a fraction of the price. Those units typically have fewer menus, a single transducer mode, and come with the basic charts preloaded. You'll still catch fish, just without the extra detail the NSX provides. Also, if you're not planning to upgrade other Simrad components, the integration benefit shrinks, making the premium price harder to justify. In the end, the Simrad NSX 3009 is a solid middle ground between a basic Fishfinder and a full-blown marine navigation suite. Its strengths lie in the ease of initial setup, the versatility of the active imaging transducer, and the seamless tie-in with existing Simrad gear. The weaknesses are the steeper learning curve, the extra cost for chart updates, and the fact that it can feel a bit over-engineered for the casual weekend angler. If those trade-offs line up with what you need on the water, you'll likely feel the purchase was worth it. If not, there are cheaper ways to get decent sonar without the extra bells and whistles. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, and that's where you can decide if the NSX 3009 belongs on your boat.